What's going on, guys? Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the brand new Deadly Strike Pack colorway of the Adidas Messi Nemeziz 17.1, which is the closest variation of the Messi Nemeziz signature boot that Messi himself actually wears, although his does not have a one-piece upper, and we'll talk about more of the custom mods that he has and how they differ from this pair right here, as well as go over all the details that you need to know, including how they fit and feel on feet. So if you want to learn more about Messi's signature boots, please stick around, watch the entire video. And if you are interested in a pair of these for yourself, I'll leave a little pop-up on screen, or you can click the first link down below. That'll take you to the review page on my website, where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $225 retail price. If you guys end up enjoying the video, don't forget to support it with a like. It helps me out a lot. And if you're new here watching for the first time, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. Included inside the box is a bag. See? Here's a better look at the bag. Now this is of course the Deadly Strike Pack colorway for the Messi Nemeziz, which I think might be my favorite colorway for this particular model so far. It's got a base color of what is like a really dark purple that almost has a little bit of a royal blue tinge to it depending on the lighting, with an accent of black as well as this kind of teal green color, which is obviously there for the Adidas stripes, and all of the Messi branding there across the torsion tapes that are actually black in color along with the black stripes, which again, it's got the Nemeziz stripes, but at the same time it's kind of subtle because it's a dark color on top of a dark color, and then obviously the Messi branding is kind of what pops across the entire shoe. You got the Nemeziz and Messi logo right there on the back. I think all the colors match really nicely. They work well together. Then you can see the sole plate does not have any kind of wearable finish because this is the 17.1 and not the 17 Plus. It's translucent in that same purple color with some of those teal accents in the stud tips, as well as the Messi logo right there. And there are plenty of Messi logos to go around on this particular shoe. So if you're not a Messi fan, you probably wouldn't want boots that say Messi right across the front of them. However, I think from a visual standpoint, these actually look quite good. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Now, as far as performance is concerned, I think the Messi Nemeziz is a really solid shoe. I will say that I do prefer the regular variation of the Nemeziz that has the Agility Knit 2.0 rather than the Agility Knit 1.0 and a slightly different sole plate and stud pattern, although the overall performance of that isn't too far off. However, when it comes to just making a pick for a top-end model within the Adidas brand right now, this wouldn't necessarily be my top pick, nor would the regular Nemeziz 17.1. I think the best comparison right now to make as far as top-end models go with this particular shoe would be the X 17.1, and if it were between those two, I would pick the Nemeziz, either the regular or the Messi variation. But if it just came down to picking any Adidas model right now, I would rather have the X 17 Plus. I'd say that's my personal favorite, and I'd also rather have the Predator 18.1, but it really does depend on what you're looking for. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, this is the closest thing to what Messi himself actually wears, and based on pictures that we've seen of Messi wearing this particular shoe, especially in training when he has them unlaced, you can see that he has some pretty significant modifications. The easiest to spot is the fact that his does not feature a one-piece upper like the regular Nemeziz 17.1, and based on what I've seen, he's the only pro player with this particular modification, so I definitely don't think that the one-piece upper on this is flawed in regards to how it fits or feels. I actually really like it and would rather it be one piece instead of what Messi has, although I've never obviously worn the custom pair that he wears. The difference, and if you look closely at any of the pictures of his shoes, especially when it's really close up, you'll notice that there's a split right here on the lateral side, and it uses a single lace hole system rather than a dual lace hole setup. That's because his isn't a one-piece upper. What ends up happening with his pair is it's split all the way from here to here, basically even extending into this collar piece, and then the medial side wraps over across the top of the foot as it does right here, but instead of being bonded to this lateral side, it kind of just tucks underneath. That's what's called the burrito style tongue. So if you can imagine my hand as the tongue kind of wrapping across the top of the foot, and then this lateral side kind of hanging back over top, that's essentially what's happening. It's pretty much like what we had on the Messi 16.1, his previous generation signature model. As to why he likes it that way rather than it being one piece, that I don't really know. You'd have to ask him, but considering that he's Messi, he's the biggest name signed to the Adidas brand at the moment as far as soccer cleats are concerned, I'm sure they're gonna make him happy and give him whatever mods that he wants. The other change that you can see within the pictures, and this is the case for a lot of pro-issued Nemeziz models, every pro wearing the Nemeziz seems to have this similar modification is that the back is actually cut a little bit lower than the retail version. And that's something that I have as a complaint in regards to the Nemeziz 17.1 and 17 Plus, is that this back piece comes out higher than it needs to. So what ends up happening is this little extension piece right about here, it's just loose material, but you end up where it kind of angles towards your Achilles tendon, and there's even a little bit of stitching here at the top of the lining material. So what ends up happening, it's a very common issue with these, is for the first couple of wears, you develop a little bit of a blister here from the rubbing at the very top of this heel area on the back of your Achilles tendon. Once you let that blister heal, it's not really too much of an issue based on my experience with these, but the fact that you have to go through that because of the extra high back to the shoe itself is something that's a little bit annoying, and a lot of pros simply do not have that little bit of an extension piece, which I would think makes for a big difference as far as comfort is concerned. Everything else about the boots Messi actually wears look to be pretty similar to the ones that I'm holding right here. It's definitely not a leather upper. It looks to have all the same torsion tapes as well as the Agility Knit 1.0 and the same sole plate and stud pattern. But unless I was able to really hold them in my hands and closely examine them, it's really difficult to say exactly what's different aside from those two things that I just mentioned. Anyways, as far as what you're getting as a difference with the Messi version of the Nemeziz, it's basically just the material here in the forefoot as well as at the heel. Although the heel area, it's backed by a heel counter, so it doesn't really matter all that much. But basically, this is again the same as the previous generation Messi signature Agility Knit 1.0 rather than Agility Knit 2.0. And I do prefer the Agility Knit 2.0 on the regular Nemeziz. It's just a little bit thinner. This has a slightly more padded sensation to it. Again, totally personal preference, and when the shoes are actually broken in, the difference that it makes is not overly significant. You're gonna find that the shoe as a whole across the entire upper is thin, it's soft, especially once broken in, but it definitely has that little bit of a padded sensation to it. It's not really a true barefoot sensation. It's kind of on par as far as thickness is concerned with the X17.1. That to me is the best comparison, but this upper, especially once broken in, definitely feels more comfortable on your feet than the X17.1, in my opinion. Everyone's gonna have their own preferences there. As far as other elements of this upper are concerned, a signature element is going to be these torsion tapes that kind of cut across the forefoot in a V formation, then cut across the heel area and the midfoot, again in a V formation. That's there to kind of contain your foot and stabilize everything inside of the shoe. The midfoot area, because this is a 17.1, is pretty much just elasticated material, and everything is covered up in kind of a polyurethane top layer with Adidas's non-stop grip texture dots running throughout the entire thing that is supposed to be a wet control element. I honestly don't think it does much of anything at all. One piece construction to the upper with the dual lace hole setup, of course, which allows you to get the laces nice and tight. I know that the 17 Plus is a laceless variation of the shoe, but the construction through the midfoot is entirely different. So if you buy the 17.1, not only are the laces going to benefit the fit, it's just gonna make for a better responsive sensation in general. I think that the 17.1 is the way to go. However, I would not recommend buying the 17.1, removing the laces and just treating it as a laceless boot, because you're gonna end up with a very sloppy fit, pretty much no lockdown whatsoever, and you'll probably roll your ankle. As far as the collar really isn't much of a collar. It's got this kind of cool V cut right here at the ankle area. That's not something that you really feel. At least I never found it to be an issue at all as far as discomfort is concerned. But this collar piece at the front extends a little bit higher up the top of your leg. You'll find that when you put them on, it almost always bunches in. So it's something you'll have to adjust every single time. But once it's on, it's not something that gets in the way or is really all that noticeable at all. I really consider this to be a low cut shoe, although again, the back comes up a little bit higher and simply just causes a little bit of discomfort during the break-in process. Has no other impact besides that. The underside of this top collar bit does have the silicone pad, so it does prevent it from sliding around and I guess bunching up further. Once you adjust it, it tends to stay in place. And then the heel liner, it's really, really nice. It's got this synthetic suede, almost like Clarino type material. I really, really like it. One of the nicer heel liners on the market right now. Good amount of padding as well. So heel lockdown, once you have the laces tied properly, is really, really solid. The insoles are fully removable, of course, feature a synthetic suede lining on top, some perforations throughout, and are just made from a single layer of this black foam, typical of pretty much all the insoles from Adidas right now, aside from the Boost ones on the Predator 18 Plus. The Messi version of the shoe does feature a different sole plate and stud pattern. That is basically a carryover from the previous Messi 16 generation of his signature boots, and it's a sprint frame construction minus the heel counter, which is somewhat unusual, but it's still very lightweight. This is arguably a little bit more stiff in the forefoot area at first versus the regular Nemeziz, but once broken in, they feel pretty similar. Technically, this reduces the weight of the shoe ever so slightly, although the weight difference between the Messi version and the regular one is pretty insignificant. We'll get to the weight in just a second. And of course, it is an FG-AG stud pattern. With this Messi stud pattern, I would argue being slightly more aggressive, mainly because the stud tips themselves are very small, so they dig into the ground a little bit more easily. You can see they have kind of a triangular shape to them. Some of them are rounded, the ones at the very front and the ones at the very back are more conical, but the stud pattern as a whole works really well. I would say that this is probably the most aggressive stud pattern from the Adidas brand right now, although because every single line uses the exact same layout, the performance from one model to the next is fairly minimal. So it's nice that you can use them on firm ground and natural grass. And the performance, if you've worn an Adidas shoe in the last several years, you have an idea of what to expect. In terms of weight, in a size 9.5 US, the Messi Nemeziz 17.1 weighs in at 7.7 ounces, which isn't extraordinarily light, but it certainly isn't heavy either. If you're looking for lighter options, you have those in the form of the X line or even the Mercurial line from Nike if you're looking for that speed boot style of fit and feel. These aren't overly tight, they're not overly thin, but once broken in, they are quite comfortable. And as long as you're not after the lightest possible feel, I don't think you're gonna have any issues with the weight of this particular shoe. So as you can see, I swapped out the stock purple laces, which are unusually long, for some junior length black reflective SR4U replacement laces. The reflective bits I think always look good. The junior length just cuts down on a little bit of extra slack, and the black color actually accents really nicely with all the black stripes on the shoe, and it looks better than I was expecting it to look. Anyways, if you are interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, the website to go to is www.sr4ulaces.com. There'll be a little pop-up on screen as well as a link down below in the description. So if you're interested in a pair, be sure to go ahead and check that out. On feet, the Messi Nemeziz 17.1 feels pretty good out of the box. There's two big things that I notice as a difference in comparison to the regular Nemeziz 17.1, and that is the shape through the midfoot. These feel a little bit more snug, and I think that has to do with the sole plate being slightly different, being a sprint frame rather than the torsion frame like you'd find on the regular variation. Although once broken in, once the materials have softened up a little bit, it's not quite as noticeable a difference. And then the second thing that I notice is the upper, especially in the forefoot area, the Agility Unit 1.0 not only feels thicker, it also feels a little bit stiffer out of the box. But again, once broken in, that difference becomes a lot more insignificant. Overall, I prefer the regular variation over the Nemeziz model, but it definitely isn't bad at all. Comfort-wise, after 20 minutes to an hour, I would say it softens up significantly and feels a lot better. And as far as that back piece extending a little bit higher than normal, the thing that gets a lot of people with that is that they don't feel uncomfortable from the first time that you put them on. It's not something that really is noticeable at all, but once you start running around, just because you're not used to having anything rubbing on that area of your Achilles tendon, a blister is very common to develop in that particular spot. So after 2 hours or so, you might realize, oh my gosh, I got a blister there, even though nothing really felt all that uncomfortable. So just be aware of that when you're breaking these in. Width-wise, they're definitely not narrow, but they're definitely not super wide either. I think if you have really wide feet, maybe not a good option, but they'll definitely fit most people. And as far as sizing is concerned, they definitely do run true to size. My feet are about a 9.25, and I'm wearing them here in a size 9.5 US. So if you are looking to order a pair for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. So in conclusion, I really like this Deadly Strike Pack colorway. I think Messi's current signature model, at least the 17.1 variation, is decent as far as the performance is concerned, but it definitely would not be my first pick. I think if you like what the Nemeziz line has on offer and you're a big Messi fan, you're probably going to like these. But if you're simply after the best of the best as far as an Adidas speed boot is concerned, personally, I think the X17 Plus, while more expensive, is a little bit of a better shoe. Anyways, guys, that is it for my review. Again, if you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, it's the first link down below. That'll take you to the review page on my website. On that page, you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes. You'll be able to pick these up below their normal $225 retail price. If you have any questions, as always, leave them down below in the comments, and I'll do my best to get an answer out to you as soon as I possibly can. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. As always, thanks for watching.